So, I chose to use AnyMeeting for my web conferencing tool. Um, I chose it because, at least in my situation, I'm not actually teaching and I don't have money to maybe join some of the other web conferencing that costs money. So, this is free. I know one downfall of it before we even get started, there are ads kind of on the sides and that will pop up occasionally, but that's something that you could potentially work through. So this is the home screen of my AnyMeeting account. So what you would do is click Start a New Meeting. So meeting title, I'm going to call it CEL 580 Run Through, if I could spell correctly. This is where you can invite people and send a message. So I'm going to click Start Meeting. So I tried installing this earlier and I wasn't having the greatest luck with it, so I'm just going to skip that part right now. And that's something that when I was teaching a class, I would look into how to do this correctly or possibly use a different web conferencing system. So I'm going to click Connect Anyways. And at first it asks you how you want to use your audio. So I'm going to click to use my computer. And then it gives you kind of some little suggestions. So I'm going to click Allow. Okay, so I'm going to click Allow and then Close. And this is my AnyMeeting homepage, I guess, for the meeting. So right off the bat, you can click the type of meeting you want to have. There's the discussion mode, in which everyone's unmuted and can talk freely. Question and answer mode, which is where attendees can mute and unmute themselves. And the listen only mode, which only the presenter can unmute people. For this purpose, I'm just going to keep it on discussion mode. I think I've seen teachers use this in the past where students can talk, and most of the time I haven't had a problem with kids just talking and causing a disruption in the meeting. But if that were the case, you could use a listen only mode, and if there's someone that something wants to say that they can't type into the chat box, they could raise their hand or type in the chat box, hey, there's something I need to say, and then the presenter could unmute them. So that's what I'm going to choose for right now. So a couple things to go through with AnyMeeting are up here in the top left-hand corner, you can invite other people to come. You can record it if you are going to post this meeting for students who can't be here. Like right now I'm using Screencast-O-Matic. And then there are other meeting options, the same ones that are on the home screen. So first thing first, over here on the left-hand side is the chat box. This is where people can type anything they want, and it shows up. You have a drop-down menu where you can email it to everyone or only to the presenter. You also have a trash can, which deletes the history for everyone. You can have private chat conversations. You can only have conversations that I can see, and you can also enable sounds. I would probably not enable sounds just because with the amount of times people are typing, that could get very annoying very quickly. So then up here at the top is kind of the important stuff. So you have your option to webcam over here under camera. Under microphone, you can mute it by clicking it, which I'm not going to do. Control the volume, or switch it if you want to begin using your telephone. The share option is really big. So at the beginning, I said that I couldn't download that install to do desktop sharing, but if you did, you would click the computer screen, and then it would, see, it says I started to download it. So then click OK. Normally it'll say full screen, um, anything like that, and you just pick it. Next on under share is the YouTube icon. You can share a video from YouTube. It looks like a standing board with a chart on it. You can click that and you can upload items that you already have saved. So let's say, for example, I want to upload this PowerPoint. So you click it, it uploads. And then you can see here it's getting ready. And then once it's uploaded, you double click it to open it. So this would be my PowerPoint that I could use if I was teaching a class that I already have saved. So once you go through your PowerPoint, you can click close. And then if you go back to that, you can also delete it if you don't want it on there anymore. The next one is the poll option. So you can create a poll. You can see the results as percentages or percentages and totals. So you can click that, add a new poll, type in your question. So let's say, how many people have? I changed my mind for what I wanted to ask. How often do you work out? 1 to 2 days, 3 to 4 days, 5 to 6 days, or 7 days a week. So then you can click Save New Poll. You can start voting on it. You know, it shows you what you would answer. So submit vote. So it shows 1 out of 1 or 100%. So if you have 50 kids in the class, you can see the different percentages or numbers, whichever one you like. So stop voting. So then you can also edit the poll, which takes you back. Or if you're done, you can delete the poll. So those are the polling options that you can do. Two other things that I found interesting that I kind of liked about any meeting is the notes section. So over here, if you click the notes, on the left-hand side pops up public notes and private notes. So if you're running the discussion and you notice there's maybe a topic that people just aren't realizing or understanding, you can write in private notes, foot anatomy or ankle anatomy as items that maybe people aren't getting, so you know that you need to touch better on that next time. Or you could send out supplementary information, or you could use it for things that are going well in the meeting so that you can know to use them next time. The shared public notes are things that you would type that everyone can see. So obviously, probably not good and bad things about the meeting, but little notes that you want people to know. And then you can exit out of that. And also you have the My Mood. So you can click yes, and over here on the left-hand side next to your name, it would show yes, no, or raising your hand if you have a question, or the I'm fine icon, which is pretty neutral. So this is good if a student has a question. Again, if maybe the audio is turned off, they can raise their hand. And I see that their hand is raised over here, so I could unmute them and they could talk. Or if I have a general, is everyone understanding what I'm saying? Instead of typing in the chat box, everyone could just give me a little thumbs up, and I can just see a general consensus over here on the side as to how people are feeling about the meeting. And then down here in the right-hand corner is the quality of the audio. So sounds good to me or not as good as expected. You could use that throughout the meeting or at the end of the meeting to see what kind of experience students had. And overall, that seems to be generally what any meeting is about. I know there are ways, watching the videos, the how-to videos, that you can make people pay to attend meetings and things like that. I haven't gotten into all that just yet. But from what I found so far, I think it does a good job of getting everything across that I would need in teaching a class. I really like the share option and the notes and mood options. Those are probably my three favorite. One thing that I noticed that we didn't have was a whiteboard that Dr. Bussman said we had to go over. I couldn't find anything like that. I'm sure maybe I could bring a whiteboard up on my desktop and maybe use that under my share icon, my desktop share. Um, Also, I would maybe like to have another chat box occasionally if I am discussing two different things. But other than that, I've had a good experience with any meeting so far. It's pretty self-explanatory. So that is any meeting in a nutshell. And then you would click end meeting up here on the right hand side. And then it says, are you sure you want to end your meeting? Um, Make sure the URL is valid. Yes, end the meeting. And then it will take me back to my home page. And then it will also upload any past meetings that you've had. So that was my one I did earlier, and then this is the one I did now. So there you go.